Hello, everyone. Welcome again. My name is Christopher Aguilar. I'm a licensed clinical social worker with the Cheyenne VA healthcare system. This presentation today is brought to you by the Front Range Veterans Peer Education Council. We want to do another agency spotlight of another local agency that serves the community and veterans alike. So joining me today is Sarah Ferrari, peer specialist from Recover, Wyoming. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks, Chris. Happy to be here.
So happy to have you. You know, a lot of us who may be tuning in to watch this video are familiar with Recover Wyoming and all the great work you folks do. And a lot of us might not be. So hence why you're here. I know you have some good information to share with us. So I'll go ahead and let you take it away. And then when you're finished, we'll talk about some other things, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
As Chris said, my name is Sarah Ferrari, and I am a certified peer specialist at Recover Wyoming. We're excited that we were asked to be a part of this. We feel like working together as a community and wrapping around those that we serve to fulfill a bigger purpose and hopefully meet their needs is what's so important about some of the work that we do. So starting off, we believe that at Recover Wyoming, we are healing lives and creating futures. So our mission statement is to advocate for persons in recovery and mobilize resources to aid them, their families and allies to increase the occurrence and quality of long-term recovery from addiction. Through recovery promotion and education, Recover Wyoming will work with communities and organizations to advocate that all people seeking and in recovery are treated with dignity and respect. So not only do we work with those who are seeking to be in recovery, but as I just stated, we also work with families. So those are some of the services that all of us can offer. So it's not just on an individual level, because as you know, addiction affects everyone within that circle of whom is close to one suffering. It unfortunately has the domino effect on everyone. So it's important to acknowledge that there are more involved and who need that assistance and that support than just the person struggling. So Recover Wyoming, we are a local nonprofit recovery community organization, also known as an RCO. We are made up of staff, board members, and these are all people who are in long-term recovery, which is really neat and makes us unique. Or we also have people who are family members who also do some service work with us. They're family members of people who are in recovery. So as I just said, everyone who is affiliated with us has some connection, some tie to someone who is struggling or who has struggled in the past with addiction. We serve recoveries, those seeking long-term recovery, and the broader community, such as family members, employers, and anyone who has been impacted by addiction. So again, this affects everyone. It's not just the immediate people that we have contact with. It's recognized as an RCO and Wyoming's statewide RCO. As of today, 46 states have at least one RCO, some have several, and all are linked with National Recovery Movement. I believe at this time there are 170 RCOs throughout the United States. So that is great news, that's impressive. That means that more people, more organizations are getting on board with the recovery movement and being vocal about the need for that support and working together and really doing some outreach work to provide services. It is a chapter member of the Association of Recovery Community Organizations through the National Office Faces and Voices of Recovery, which is based in Washington, D.C. Faces and Voices of Recovery is a phenomenal organization that we're kind of under their umbrella, if you would, because they are the head of this. And so we are one of the many RCOs that fall under them. but they are made up of wonderful people who have so much to offer, and they really are doing great things. So we're very honored to be a part of that and to be performing under them. We were incorporated in November 2010, and we received our federal nonprofit status in September 2011. The CEO and founder of Recover Wyoming is Laura Griffith. She just recently did retire, and we're so happy for her. We miss her incredibly, but she is an amazing woman, and because of her vision, a woman in long-term recovery, and because of her dream and knowing, what was needed, the services that she could have used, and knowing how much addiction affects everyone, it was just a dream that she had, and she pursued it. And I know that not only are those of us who are on staff and on the board so incredibly grateful to Laura, but also those within the community. It took a lot of hard work on her part, and with her being a woman in long-term recovery, I think that really kind of gave us the edge on things, because we have lived experience, or she had lived experience. And so making that connection, having that communality is important. Hope and recovery is what we deal with and what we offer. And we believe that hope is a belief that we all have the power to reach a goal. Recovery is the process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their fullest potential. Certified peer specialists can be an example of hope and recovery. So talking a little bit about a peer specialist, they are a person who is in long-term recovery, which is considered to be 2 years or more, from a substance use disorder and or a mental health disorder or challenge that can use their lived experience to help others who struggle with these same challenges. We are unique in the support that we provide because our lived experiences often provide insight that clinical and or professional training cannot replicate, although we all do work in conjunction with highly trained and educated professionals. So I am a woman in long-term recovery. I have over 7 years of sobriety under my belt, which I'm very proud of. And one thing that I like to share when I do speak about being a peer specialist is that, some of the worst things that happened to me during those challenging times in my life, I'm now in a position to where I can turn it all around and make it a beautiful gift to give back with my experience and with the knowledge that I've gained. So not only as a peer specialist can I use my personal lived experience to reach out to others to help them, but I'm also getting special training and certification through the state of Wyoming. So really it's just, it's amazing. It's powerful. Personal experience along with the training, and that's good support. That's good service. So the goals of a peer specialist is to first promote hope and recovery, then to teach and mentor self-direction, to teach and mentor intentionality and planning, and to help individuals find their own recovery. At Recover Wyoming, I will talk about it here shortly. Myself and my colleague, we both facilitate a meeting that we call Bridgest Recovery. And we acknowledge all pathways of recovery. And that's what's unique about our meeting. It's not a 12-step based meeting. It's not a faith-based meeting. It is a meeting for anyone who is wanting to try a life of sobriety, or who has, had it in the past but maybe is struggling with it, or someone who knows of someone who could really use some help. And so what we do is we walk alongside that person. We call it recovery coaching or peer support. And we just wrap ourselves, our love and our acceptance and our acknowledgement, we wrap all of that around these individuals who we serve. And so it's not us telling them how they should pursue their recovery or telling them what they should do and how to reach that goal. It's us standing beside them and saying, okay, what can we do to help you? What would you like your life to look like? What changes would you like to make? And then we find ways to incorporate what we have been trained as peer specialists to help them reach those goals and make them more manageable. And if there are resources that they need that would better them, and it's something that we don't offer, we will find those resources. We will absolutely do outreach and look within the community and make phone calls and set up meetings, do whatever we can to make sure that whoever we're serving, their needs are being met so that they can be successful and that the ball is not getting dropped somewhere. So that continuity of care, in which we call also a warm handoff. So we're never just letting somebody figure it out for themselves. We're always there to help them, whatever that may look like on their terms. So a little bit of history, some of the milestones for Wyoming. In 2005, the first Wyoming peer specialist was hired. In 2007, the peer specialist certification and Medicaid became billable. In 2015, we are awarded SAMHSA, which is a Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, funded the BRSS tax grant to establish an evaluation system to peer specialist services and to create training throughout the state. So that was making sure that we were able to check off all of the boxes. So if we were working as a peer support specialist, that we could bill for that. So just making sure that we met those requirements. And then as of October 2020, there are 176 trained peer specialists in Wyoming. We normally offer, because Recover Wyoming is the one who does the training for the Wyoming Certified Peer Specialists, and we usually offer 2 trainings a year with some grant money that has been changed. I believe I'm not sure if it's for the same amount, but we've had to make some adjustments. I think we're going to try to squeeze in a few more trainings if possible. And before I get into our PATH program, I would just like to say that there is training for a certified peer specialist, and there is also training for what we call a forensic peer specialist. Myself and my colleague Martin, we are both certified forensic peer specialists, and what that means is that we are trained now to work with the judicial system, and those who are maybe first joining or getting into the judicial system, those who are already in it that are getting ready to transition out. And what our goal is we want to just infiltrate wherever we can and help educate, help give some knowledge, some preventative skills, if you will, some life skills, some coaching skills to those who maybe are at risk of becoming someone in the system. If we can intervene and prevent that from happening, that's always the best case that we hope for. For those that are already in the system, by providing our services and meeting them wherever they are in the system and helping them make goals for the future, plan ahead, work on things that they need to work on now to be more successful when they do transition out of the system. That's something we do as well. The training for the forensic peer specialist is not offered as frequently. So it might be one training every other year. But for the most part, Recover Wyoming is really good about getting that information out via, social media, on our website, word of mouth. Unfortunately, we can only select so many people. And because of COVID, the way that we've done our trainings, we've had to adjust to meet the safety standards, keeping ourselves safe and everyone who is also in that environment safe. So we've had to make some adjustments. But there still is a limit, even when COVID, before COVID was going on, there was still a limit to how many that we could accept into that training. And it is an application process. So just kind of food for thought to put out there for anyone who might be viewing this, who thinks that they might be interested in becoming a certified peer specialist or even a forensic peer specialist. So PATH program, that is our housing program, and it provides services to people with serious mental illness, including those with co-occurring substance use disorders who are experiencing homelessness or at imminent risk of becoming homeless. Rental deposits and eviction prevention is one of the things that we provide, and the individuals must meet PATH criteria to be eligible for the program. So 3 items a person would need to qualify for this would be a diagnosis of a serious mental health challenge, proof of income, a reward letter, or Social Security would qualify, and a copy of a lease agreement. So for this PATH program, this is a long-term housing plan. This is not short-term. We cannot, because of our state funding and our grant money, we cannot use our money to do anything short-term as far as putting someone in a hotel, for a few days. Our goal is working towards the future and making this something long-term. So if someone were to contact Recover Wyoming and say, hey, either I have an apartment, but I'm about to get kicked out, or hey, I don't have a place to live, could you help me? Then with the 3 items I just mentioned, a letter stating a diagnosis, some type of proof of income, whether it's Social Security, a paycheck stub, just something showing that you are working and that there is some income coming in. And then also a lease agreement, whether that be from where the person is getting evicted from, or if they were to find another place that they would like to move into, that type of lease agreement. And so because it takes time to get all the paperwork in and to make sure the person qualifies, the money is not handed out right away. You would need to call and make an appointment with either Martin or Dawn, the PATH supervisor. And at that point, they sit down and do an intake with that individual, ask them some questions, just get to know more about them, their circumstances and their situation, so that we can best meet their needs and make sure that our services, will be helpful. So that's just one of the things that Recover Wyoming does provide as far as services is our housing. But again, it's not long-term. I'm sorry, it's not a short-term. It's not a short-term fix. We really do want to look at something long-term, because in recovery, that is very much long-term. And so it's the same with us coaching and helping people just trying to get back on the right track and trying to get their life together. We want to make it a positive experience, and we want to make it something that's going to last. So that's what's important. Some of the other services, as we said, peer support. There are 4 of us at Recover Wyoming. Lana Mahoney, who is interim director right now. Dawn Cranmore, she is the PATH supervisor. Martin Haas, he is a PATH coordinator and also a peer support. And then myself, I'm the dedicated peer support specialist there. So between the 4 of us, we're all certified. That is forensic and just peer specialist. So even though we're a small team, if someone were to come into the center or call, and let's say I was busy or Martin was busy, Don or Lana would also be able to handle those phone calls and help assist whomever was reaching out to us. So part of being a peer support specialist is the Recovery Coach program. And I kind of touched on that earlier. And that is, us meeting with someone, whether they're needing help with housing or they're needing help with their recovery or both, then we just meet with them and we kind of help them come up with a plan, something that's going to be realistic, setting goals that are absolutely obtainable, and just walking alongside that person and supporting them along the way, through their eyes and how they feel it will be most beneficial to them. We do not want to come in, nor will we come in and try to dictate anything, because each person's recovery is very unique and it's individual to them. And one thing that might work for one person may not work for another. And so we are very aware of that. So we kind of just try to mold to that individual and their situation the best that we can. The Bridgest Recovery meetings, I did mention that, and I will have a flyer in our next slide that advertises that a little bit. As I said, it's an all recovery meeting, so we don't talk heavy on faith. We just don't do it. We don't talk heavy on 12-step. We will pick a topic. We have a really neat book that we like to read from and share from. And if we feel like there might be, something more beneficial, if we know somebody's having a hard time or there's something going on, then we can absolutely just make the meeting about that. So we make it as individual as possible. And it is a smaller group. I mean, we are growing, which is really great. We love to see new people. We welcome them. But it's not such a large meeting that it doesn't feel personable. So advocacy, we want to advocate for people in recovery, whether they are new to recovery, they are someone who's been in recovery for years. We want to advocate for their families. There is a lot of stigma within not just our community, but surrounding communities with addiction and mental health challenges. And, we don't want people to be labeled or viewed as their issues that they're struggling with. They are all people with feelings, with families, with so much to lose, with so much to gain. I mean, they are human beings. We are all human beings. We're just having a hard time, or we've had a hard time in our past, but it makes us no less than. So really just advocating for people and standing up for them and showing, that no, addiction and mental health challenges, they are not fun. They're not pretty, but they are real and they are happening. And so just being the example of, yes, maybe we have been there, but now we're here. So there is hope and there is proof that recovery is real and that, anyone can do it with the right support. So referrals to existing services, as I said, we do a lot of outreach work within the community. We have partnerships built up with other organizations within the community, and we're always working on strengthening those and creating new ones. So for the mental health facilities in Cheyenne, mental health caregivers, providers, we are in touch with them. We have their contact information. With the jail, with the hospital, with treatment facilities, with the food bank, with, Goodwill, just with all of the resources in Cheyenne, and some even outlying, Cheyenne, just knowing who those people are, where they are, and the services that they can provide and the services that they offer. That's really important when people come in our facility and they have nothing and they truly are starting all over. That's very overwhelming. And so it's so helpful to know who is who in the community, to build that relationship with them, so that together you can do the best work possible to help support that individual or that family and help them be successful and be productive, and welcomed in the community again. As far as the recovery supportive events and activities, as I mentioned earlier, COVID has really put a strain on life as we know it, and doing anything that would require us to do some kind of social gathering. This last year, our biggest fundraiser is our Cajun Fest. And because I'm the newest at Recover Wyoming, this was my first Cajun Fest this year. And it's my understanding that normally we have it indoors, and there is a wonderful meal provided, and there's raffles and entertainment. And this year we had to change it up a bit, and we did it out at Terry Bison Ranch, and it turned out really, really well. But that was just one adjustment we had to make due to COVID. Another adjustment, even just as far as letting people into the recovery center, is due to the space and trying to keep everyone safe. We can only allow one person who is not staff in at a time. So we always say, call ahead, make an appointment. Obviously, if there's nobody in the facility and someone is just passing by and they want to stop in and get some information, talk, have a cup of coffee, if it's safe, then we will absolutely open the door and let them in. So this is our flyer for our Bridgest Recovery. And it says, at Recover Wyoming, we believe in meeting you where you are. We want to walk alongside you and your loved ones while supporting you on your journey to recovery. Never in front of you or behind you, always beside you. So just knowing that you have that support, that you're not going through it alone. If you have any questions, doubts, concerns, celebrations, anything, we want to share that with you. Because in recovery, with anything, with mental health challenges or addiction, you're as strong as your support is. And so the more that you allow people to help you and support you, the higher chance of success. And so those meetings, I facilitate one on Wednesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Zoom. And then Martin facilitates the other meeting on Sunday evenings from 6 to 7 on Zoom. So you can go on our website, you can go on our Facebook page, and the information for our Bridgest Recovery meeting will be there. And you can just click on that link and it will take you to the meeting where you'll be let in. Speaking of events, this one is one that we just came up with. We would like to incorporate the month of February, with it being Valentine's Day, with recovery. So we're calling it I Heart Recovery. And what it is throughout the month of February, we're going to try to do something on social media that really puts an emphasis on recovery. Why is recovery important to us? Why is recovery important to you? One of the really, really neat things that's going to be going on is a film viewing. This film is called Bobby Joe, Under the Influence. This has not yet been released. So if you would like to join the first screening or the first viewing of this film, there is going to be a link on this flyer, or again, you can go to our website or our Facebook page. We will have that information out. And it's through Eventbrite. So you would just click on the link. It's absolutely free. And as long as you have internet access, you can view it in the comfort of your home, with a friend, wherever you want. But it truly is a touching story. And it's about a woman who knows too much, well, not too much, but she has struggled with addiction. She has struggled with homelessness. She went truly through so much. But she rose up, and now she has given this beautiful gift of recovery and hope and strength to so many people who are struggling, to the point to where she is now kind of a mother role model or a mother figure in these people's lives, because she has taken all of that hurt and challenge and heartbreak and loss and turned it into a beautiful, beautiful gift. So that viewing is going to be on, I believe it is the 2nd of February from 6 to 11 p.m. So we highly encourage anyone who might be interested. This is going to be an amazing film, you guys, very heartwarming. And for anyone who has suffered with addiction or mental health challenges, or has a family member, knows someone, this is really going to hit close to home. And I'm excited. It's going to be a beautiful movie. So that would be awesome if you guys could join us for that. Also, on the 9th of February, we're doing something with our community partners highlight. So we are going to pick partners within the community that we feel are good representatives of recovery, of mental health challenges. And we're going to do somewhat of a short interview, and we're going to post all of their responses online, along with either their team picture or a team logo. But we really just want to point them out, because again, doing that outreach within the community, it is so important to know who you're working with, who has services that will truly benefit those you serve, and how you can work together and wrap all of those services around those that we serve to help them be successful and just give them the best chance of bettering themselves in their circumstances. So that will be on the 9th. And then on the 16th, we would love for people to post on social media. What does recovery mean to you? How has it affected you? What would you like to give back because you've been blessed with recovery? And then on the 23rd, we will be doing a fundraising day. So we will have more information about that on our website or on our Facebook page. This is something that our director, Lana, just came up with this, and she did a great job. She really did. But the more that we're talking about this, we're really getting excited about this, because recovery is a big deal. It really is. And there are so many people, even those that you would think would be very unlikely people, who have been affected by it in some way, whether directly or indirectly. It truly does affect everyone. And it's almost hard to say that you don't know someone who hasn't been affected by it in some way, shape, or form. So really just educating people, trying to get rid of that stigma, and just build people up and love on them and support them and help them be the best that they can be by using, our lived experience or using community partners and any services that we can to help benefit them. So again, this flyer will also be on our Facebook page or our website if you would like to go check that out. And this last slide, this is our team of 4, the mighty, mighty Recover Wyoming team. So Lana Mahoney, she is our interim director. Dawn Cranmore, she's our PATH program coordinator. Martin Haas, he's the PATH program assistant. And I am Sarah Ferrari, the peer recovery specialist. And that's about it for my slides, Chris.
That's it. Sarah, wow, what wonderful information. I sat here with my list of questions that I wrote out at the beginning of the presentation, and you literally answered all of them. You touched on so many different aspects on how Recover Wyoming is such a titan in this community. I thought I knew a lot about Recover Wyoming before we set this up, but I know so much more now. You hit on the importance of peer support and what that means to bring your lived experience to working with others going through their own recovery. You said it better, so I'm not going to restate it. You touched on self-directed care, self-directed choices in one's recovery. Again, there's no one better to lead someone in their own recovery with making self-directed choices than peers like you who've been there. Such an important topic. You talked about the importance of community relationships and doing warm handoffs. Those relationships take time to build, and it sounds like you guys have it down. You guys really have it down. And just the community outreach you guys are doing. Cajun Fest, where was I? I got to be there next year.
You know what? Yes, we will absolutely love to have you next year. Hopefully it can be somewhat back to normal indoor gathering.
Yeah.
But it was fun last year. But absolutely, we'll let you know.
Well, the screenings, I have it marked down now, the dates for the iHeart Recovery. The variety of screenings you talked about just sound really interesting and really impactful. And so I am going to circle that on my calendar. I have one question for you before we leave, and that is just simply this. If anyone, veteran or non-veteran, is watching this and they're contemplating contacting Recover Wyoming today, what would you tell them?
I would say don't hesitate. To become, we take volunteers as well. That's not to say that you have to be someone in long-term recovery, but as I kind of stated, and Chris, as you just mentioned, it has been proven through studies that there is a higher success rate for someone who is working with someone who has that lived experience, who has already gone through what they are going through. we're more than just someone telling you, well, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. No, it's, you know what, I've been there. I've been in your shoes and I know what you're feeling. I know what you're struggling with. So, it's a huge benefit if you have that lived experience. If you don't want to become a certified peer specialist, you can always just come and see how you could possibly volunteer, at our center, whether it's answering phone calls or, when the weather does get nicer. Well, actually, when it's colder, we have a lot of people that, they would come by and ask for coffee or a cup of tea. We do have some supplies, some, hygiene products downstairs. We try to get, as much donated as possible as far as hats and gloves and just anything that could help someone who may not have a home. So coming in and maybe handing that kind of stuff out, learning more about what recovery is. So I would say don't hesitate, give us a call, stop by. It truly does take a village. It truly does. And so the more people that you have wanting to reach out and support and wrap around others who maybe aren't as fortunate, I think that's just the making for a great community. It really is. And for a successful community. So yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in that, please don't hesitate. We would love to talk to you. We would love to share our story with you. Each of us has our own unique story that got us where we are. And so we wouldn't mind sharing that with you and just giving you an opportunity to get to know us and what we're about.
Absolutely. Amen to that. That's great. Well, Sarah Ferrari, peer specialist, Recover Wyoming, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I know we'll have you back, and maybe we'll get Martin involved next time as well. But thank you so much. I look forward to working with you in the future, and we'll end it there.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Chris.